Now, every Indian is asking only one question. What happens next? The Pahalgam attack has left the country shaken and bitter. 26 innocent lives were lost. Tourists were gunned down while they were on their holiday. And 2 weeks on, one question lingers. When will those terrorists be brought to justice? And how will Pakistan be made to pay? The momentum here since then has only grown stronger. Tensions with Pakistan has, of course, sharpened. Both sides have tested their firepower. Our military is now combat ready, as we know. But this time, India is also preparing its civilians to face the worst. In what appears to be a major readiness push, India is now activating both its defense and deterrence. The Ministry of Home Affairs has now ordered mock drills across India, testing air raid warning systems, camouflaging vital installations, and fine-tuning civil defense protocols. Before we dive into those implications here, I'm going to introduce our panelists joining us right here tonight to give us a complete breakdown of what this really means for India. Lieutenant General A.B. Shivane, thanks very much, sir, for joining us. We also have Major General Dwivedi. Thank you very much, sir, for joining right here on News 9. And also Air Marshal Deeptendu Chaudhary to give us a little more insights into our preparedness. Now, let's begin with a full picture of the drills that's currently underway in India. Now, for the first time since 1971, India will sound nationwide air raid sirens. The centre has launched massive civil defence drills, prepping civilians for a potential wartime emergency. We're looking at images coming in from various schools, largely from Jammu and Kashmir and border states, which has already swung into action and are preparing their students there for these mock drills in case of an eventuality. This is how they should face it. On May 7th, that's in the next 24 hours, sirens will go off across cities in India. It's not just the border states. All states in India, selected districts will carry out defense drills. Now, at this point, of course, the government, the Ministry of Home Affairs particularly, has asked states to carry out these mock drills where people will be alerted as to how to react if in case a war situation comes about. 7th of May, sirens will go off across cities. Of course, you shouldn't panic. It's a high-stakes readiness check. The trigger is the Pakistan-India tensions that has peaked after the Pahalgam massacre that's killed 26. Over 250 locations across 33 states and union territories have been activated, and that includes Delhi, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Assam, Punjab, Rajasthan, and many, many more. Now, these drills will simulate airstrikes, blackouts, and emergency response. Let me take you through, for instance, Karnataka mock drills will be carried out. That will be held in Bengaluru, Raichur, and Karwar. By 4 p.m. is precisely the time given for Karnataka and across other states as well. Raichur, remember, has a thermal power plant. Karwar in Karnataka houses the Kaiga nuclear facility, and Bengaluru is a national nerve center, which is home to ISRO, DRDO, and the Yelahanka Air Force Base. It's, of course, also a tech capital. So this is one example that I've given of Karnataka. Similarly, exercises that's to be carried out across different states in India. Officials say if Pakistan retaliates, the conflict may not remain confined to the border. Metro cities like Delhi and Mumbai could be in line of fire, making civilian readiness non-negotiable. Now, Pakistan has already issued a warning of a swift and elevated response. This isn't routine as we see here. It's clearly serious. India is getting its people ready because when sirens wail, every second counts.
In case of a full-fledged war and attack by the Pakistanis or retaliation to our attack by the Pakistanis. The Air Force has long range. They can go to any extent. 500-600 kilometers deep inside is really easy for them. So therefore, we need to prepare our population to face up to these contingencies, to secure themselves, and also to ensure that the vital installations which are there located along the borders or maybe inside the depth are not impacted by their attack. So mock drills would involve several aspects. To start with, it involves preparing the civilians, to take defensive measures to protect themselves and to protect their family members and friends who may be there with them.
All right, that's one of the opinions that we have there, but I'm going to take it to our panelists right here. Lieutenant General A.B. Shivane, to give us a little more on the mock drill. Sir, your take on what India will see and witness. This is possibly the first time the current generation will witness something like this. Back in 1972, this happened. We're looking at nearly 30 years later, a similar situation that's leaving us a little nervous. What exactly does this mock drill mean for every citizen?
Thank you. You're right. You know, it's a national level of preparedness to preserve the national interests and, more importantly, to ensure the safety and security of its nation against all possible contingencies. Having said that, these mock drills must be seen as part of the larger picture which is developing. The mock drills are meant to ensure that the citizens are protected, they're well informed, they, they carry out the actions to minimize loss of lives and damage to property. But besides this mock drill, what else is happening is important for them to understand so that the mock drills fit into the overall scheme. In this, the defense forces are already in a high state of preparedness. The diplomacy is working to expose Pakistan, be it at the United Nations Security Council or garnering the support worldwide. Politically and economically, the Pakistan as a state is being pushed back psychologically and physically and economically by the actions which have taken place in terms of Indus Water Treaty, in terms of diplomatic actions, and the unpredictability of the water, which now is in our hands to control and play into the mind game. So I would say that this is a Indian way of ensuring security and war fighting, in which is based on 4Ds. I call it 4Ds. First, delay, create a sense of fear of unknown for the adversary, gain time for global support. Second, drain him out physically, mentally, stretch him out as such, make his resources be stretched, his economic thing, target his will, thereafter dislocate him mentally, physically, psychologically, and morally to create points of weakness. And then, if required, at some stage, destroy or strike him at his places of vulnerability and be prepared for the escalatory ladder with possibly levers in your control. And it is here when we prepare for the escalatory ladder, it is very important that we take care of the mock drills and ensure that the citizens of this nation are part of the entire process of this emergency.
Right. If I could bring in G.G. Dwivedi, Major General, your take on how this is important for every civilian to internalize this education that we may get tomorrow. I'm not too sure we as journalists will also have to go through these drills, but have we ever seen before a war-like situation that spilled over to the rest of the Indian states, apart from the border areas?
Well, Nabila, firstly, thanks for getting me on your show.
Thank you, sir.
We need to understand the bigger picture. The bigger picture, firstly, in this current era war, it's not only security forces which fight the war, it's the whole nation approach. So therefore, whole nation has to be prepared for any contingency. Secondly, the war zone is no more on the forward line. The war zone extends quite deep into depth where your logistics and your other assets are located. So therefore, we need to activate our complete country and sensitize them of the danger that can accrue. Well, you asked a very interesting question. This generation has not seen any major war because I know in 1965 I was a student and we had the 65 war and India was actually sensitized and there was number of defense security measures that were taken. And 1971, I fought the war, and again it was similar situation. But ironically, there have been no war after 1971. Now, coming to specifically how the nation prepares. The nation prepares at two levels. One is the defense forces, they are on the front line and they are in the battle zone. And secondly is the depth areas, means your logistics and your rear areas. That's where the nation prepares because your supply chains to the forward line are from the hinterland. And therefore, the enemy is quite likely to target your depth areas. And that's where the we need to prepare our citizens in the depth areas. Second point, very important point is that it is also, as I said, the nation fights. So it's also very important to ensure that we don't suffer damage in our depth areas and also our citizens are well protected. So therefore, once such a action is taken, that the whole process is set into gear, the defense, civil defense comes into play, and there's a lot of intersay between the security forces and between the civil defense because they are overlapping areas and they work in sync, hand in glove, and right resources are allocated at right location. So all I can say is India is preparing this time for a long haul because erstwhile reference point like Balakot or Uri strike are actually passé. This time is going to be ensuring that Pakistan either is deterred or is defeated in its proxy war because so far we have been fighting this war either on the line of control or in the hinterland, but we have not gone across and delivered the right message and right punitive actions to Pakistan. So in that way, once such actions are taken, there will be retaliation from the other side because in the boxing ring, both sides exchange punches. So I think our government is on the right track. We are preparing, but I want to have a word of caution. Firstly, there should be no panic. And secondly, we need to do a lot to ensure that our our citizens are well prepared for an eventuality in case escalation takes actually the higher ladder.